Hey everyone, Chef Tom here. It's pumpkin season and it's a perfect time to make pumpkin spice muffins. Let's get baking. Okay, for our muffins, we're going to top them with the cinnamon streusel. So let me show you the ingredients first for our muffins. We're going to start off with 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 15 ounces of pumpkin puree or 425 grams, 1 cup of granulated sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 large eggs, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. So now for our cinnamon streusel, we're going to start off with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. Let's get baking. Okay, before we get started, we want to preheat our oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with our streusel. So let me show you how easy that really is. So I've got my flour. I'm going to add sugar, the cinnamon, get that all in there, a little bit of salt, and then I'm going to whisk that all together. Make sure I combine everything. And now I'm just going to simply add our melted butter. And I'm just going to use a fork and break this all up. So what I want is all that flour to get incorporated, but I want these large crumbs forming, and that's going to be for the top of our muffin. So I'm just going to mix that all in and make sure we've incorporated all the butter and flour. Okay, so this is a simple muffin recipe. We're going to start off with our dry ingredients. So what we have is our flour. We're going to throw in our pumpkin spice, our baking soda and salt. Get that all in there. And we want to whisk that in to combine thoroughly. Really important to combine it. Perfect. There we go. So then we start with our wet ingredients. So we're going to start off with our white sugar and brown sugar. So I'm going to mix that all in. So now that that sugar is nicely mixed in, we can add in our eggs. Get those broken up and mixed in there nicely. We're going to add in our oil, canola oil. Start whisking slowly so we don't splash it all over ourselves, and incorporate it into the mixture. And then we're going to add in our vanilla extract. Okay, now we're simply going to take our dry ingredients and put it into our wet. You might see some people make a well and they're dry and pour in the wet. It really doesn't matter. The really important thing is that you incorporate everything together and do not overmix, because you don't want to create all those glutens that are going to make your muffins tough. So we're going to start stirring this in, and we're just going to stir until it's incorporated and we don't see any clumps of flour anymore. So just gently. We don't want to overwork it, but we definitely want to mix it in. It all has to combine together. So you want to really get right to the bottom so you can bring out any flour that might be stuck to the bottom of the bowl. And I think that's pretty good. We've pretty much combined everything. And we're ready to put into our muffin pans. Okay, so I filled up my muffins. What I did is I used paper lining, and this recipe roughly yields 12 muffins. Okay, so now I've started adding our cinnamon streusel on top of our muffins, and I'm going to put roughly a tablespoon on each one. See if we can add a little more here. And we simply pat it down, just gently. Just pat them down, not too hard. Just like that. And then these muffins are going to go in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. And how we're going to check is we're going to put a toothpick in there, and if it comes out nice and clean, we know our muffins are ready. Okay, our muffins are ready. They were actually in the oven for about 25 minutes. I checked them after 20. They still needed a little more. I used a toothpick, and once it's nice and clean, that's when we know they're done. So these been sitting for about 10 minutes, so they've cooled a little bit. And there we have it, a beautiful pumpkin muffin with cinnamon streusel. So good. I hope you enjoy it. Keep cooking and see you soon.